Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt, welcome. Welcome to our weekly show, Good Coach, Bad Coach. What the great coaches know that the others never figure out. Why there's so many bad coaches in the world? Well, where do you go to school to become a great coach? That's a good question. When you come up through school, you take some PE classes, you take some health classes, and now you're in charge of people. So I put together this show based on the premise similar to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what the rich teach their kids that the poor middle class never know, and how you can become a good coach. Who's the show for? Obviously, it's for coaches. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college, professionals. It's also for the manager out there who's in charge of other people, coaching people up. And every time I speak, just like today, I start off with a big question. Have you ever had a good coach in your life? A good coach will have conversations with you don't want to have. Them make you do some things you don't want to do. But boy, they'll help you become something you didn't think you could become. And I also ask this question. Have you ever had a bad coach? Boy, people raise both hands. They're like, oh, yeah, everybody's had a bad coach. Squander talent, waste away potential, create all manner of dysfunction. So today we're talking how do good coaches build succession plans, leaders at all levels. How do good coaches build future leaders? Now let me tell you the old school way. The old school way is there's one great coach on the staff, and he or she has all of the knowledge, all of the skill, all of the desire, all of the confidence, all of the networks, and it's all bottlenecked in that one great coach. When that one great coach leaves, is not available, is sick, whatever the case may be, then nobody else can take over. And what happens is a deep decline in the program. Now, we've seen this over and over and over. Great coach builds big program, wins championships. That coach leaves. There is no legacy thinking. Program suffers because the next person just isn't as good as the person that just left. That's a big problem. It's a big problem for programs. Now, why are we talking this today? Because sometimes you have great managers. That great manager leaves. Lousy manager comes in. Everything that was built, all the legacy, all the tradition, boop, right down the drain, baby. Next person comes in, not as good, not as talented, drops off. I see it in programs all the time. And right now, in my hometown, there have been 6, 7, 8 big coaching changes of great coaches. Some not so great. Some pretty good. Some real good that have decided to leave, have been asked to resign, quit, whatever the case. Moved on to greener pastures, got out of coaching. So the old way is everything is bottlenecked in that one person. The new way is to build leadership mechanisms. And I remember reading a book by the great Ram Charan, and he called it Leaders at All Levels. Well, let me ask you a question. How does a church grow a church? You see, they can't all depend on the pastor because the pastor can't be everywhere. What they do is they build leaders within the church. Leaders for the kids, leaders for the adults. They build deacons. They build a whole pipeline of leaders, small group leaders, and that's how they grow a church. Everybody shares in the growing. Same way with the program. So the new way is this. What are you doing as a coach to build future leaders, to have a pipeline? Now, when I transferred from athletic coaching to the business world to build a business, one of the very first things I did, which was a mistake in some rights, a good move in some rights, is I built the whole business around me. And I did that because at first it was just me as a speaker. There was no business. If it was on Shark Tank, they would say, you don't have a business. You got one little bitty product. That was a mistake because there's no scalability when it's all around one person. What if I'm sick? What if I decide to retire? What if I shut it down? How does the company keep going? So I want you to think as a coach about franchising your model, about building a McDonald's model in your program where you have systematized and you can teach, and it's repeatable, and other people can take over, and it's not so dependent on you. Now, this is going to be a big issue because coaches have big egos. They think it's all about them. They believe that, and because of that, when they check out, a lot of people check out. So for you, I want you to think about scaling your business, making your business franchisable. So you take what is in your mind and think about this cycle. From mind to paper, from paper to systems, from systems to expectation. Today I mentioned the great Don Meyer, who had such a positive impact on my life, the great Lipscomb coach. And he used to make every single player take a notebook, and he had 3 rules. We all say please and thank you. We all say yes, sir, and no, sir. And we all take notes. We also all take out trash. Every player came to every practice with a pen and paper. Now, what happened to David Lipscomb University when Don Meyer left? They won some games. They've been a pretty good team. But in all fairness, they don't have the program that they had when Don Meyer was the coach there, because it was the great Don Meyer. What happened to LA after John Wooden left? What happened to Indiana when Bobby Knight left? Program actually got better with a new coach. So sometimes it's all built around one person. When we come back from the break, here's what we're going to talk about. How do you build legacy leadership into succession? How do you see your job as a leader to develop other leaders, to develop other coaches, to take what's in your mind and put it on paper, and paper to systems, and systems to expectations? How do you franchise your model so you're building leaders at every level? Now, many times we talk of the players on here. What leadership academy are you having for the players? How are you building life after basketball programs, life after football programs for your players? What legacy are you leaving so it's not all dependent on just one person? Tonight we're talking good leaders, good coaches, build future leaders. Come on back to Good Coach, Bad Coach. Hey, this is Coach Micheal Burt, and I have a prediction. Within the next 5 years, every manager in the world will have to become a coach. You know, a good coach will do 3 things for you. They make you have conversations you don't want to have. They make you do some things you don't want to do. They'll help you become something you didn't think you could become. This transition, what I call the coaching revolution, prompted me to create a program called Turn Your Managers into Coaches. What we want to do is drive up engagement, drive up production. We want to become a manager other people want to follow. If you've got managers out there that you want to turn into coaches that engage people in systematic behaviors that allows them to do something tomorrow they simply cannot do today, pick up the phone and call us, 225-8380, 615-225-8380, or email us at info@coachburt.com, and we're going to teach you how to turn your managers into great coaches. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt here, the Super Coach. Follow me at Micheal Burt. You can listen to this podcast every single week on my new favorite app, Stitcher Radio. Man, is that a good app. Listen to it in the morning, noon, night when you're walking, because if you're a coach out there, here's the deal. There's good coaches and there's bad coaches. Here's a problem. A lot of mediocre coaches think they're good coaches. Just yesterday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I was speaking in Philly, and a gentleman walked up and said, man, I got a 13-year-old daughter. She's got a bad coach. What do I do? I said, that is a problem. Your daughter will go into high school totally underprepared in knowledge, skill, desire, and confidence, and it's not her fault. It's actually her coach's fault because you got a bad coach. What do? Private lessons. What do? Put her in an environment she can win. What do? Get up and move the family if you want her to be in an environment where she can play for a good coach. Your job as a parent is to put your children in an environment where they can be successful. Now, tonight we're talking legacy leadership, how great coaches, good coaches build leaders. Good coaches see it as part of their role to multiply leaders. The bad coach wants it to all be about them. You know, one of the proudest things I've ever been proud of in my life, it's not really the championship that we won. I'm awfully proud of that. I'm most proud that when I left, the team won 3 more championships and even got better. They won a national championship. That's legacy leadership. What does it say about you if you leave a program and the whole program falls apart? Now, for the ego side of you, here's what it says. You're really good. You're probably a legend. You are great at what you do. What does it say about building future leaders? What does it say about building a pipeline of leaders that they can carry on? They can carry the torch and build that. So I want you thinking about legacy leadership. I want you thinking about taking what's in your mind and putting it on paper, and paper to systems, and systems to expectation, so that this can outlive you. I want you thinking about building a franchise, a machine that is not totally dependent on one person. So you say, how do you do it, Coach? Number one, you make the shift off of it's just about you into how you build future leaders. Number two, you start building leadership academies. You start doing personal mentoring of your assistant coaches. Now, I had a rule when I was a head coach. You could not stay with me longer than 3 years. In 3 years, I'm pushing you out of the nest, and you are going to become your own head coach. I'm not looking for people who want to be lifelong assistant coaches. I am looking for people who want upward mobility. I'm looking for people who want to grow and expand. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and then I want you to go do it on your own. So if you're humble, if you're coachable, if you're hungry, if you're willing, then I will show you how to be a great coach, and I'm going to teach you everything I know. Even if we become competitors, you're going to know everything about me. That's an abundant mindset, not a scarcity mindset. You have to see it as your role to growing future leaders. You need a pipeline. Ask yourself right now, if you were to leave this company, if you were to leave this organization, if you were to leave this school, who would take over for you? Would one of your assistants on your staff be qualified to take over for you? And if not, what have you been doing to grow leaders? I've spoke with the football coach once, and he said, we don't have any leaders on this team. We don't have any chemistry on this team. And I looked at him and said, all due respect, whose job is it to build future leaders? Is it not your job? You see, the bad coach, go back to one of our earlier episodes, only focuses on one part, the body. They work harder, they push harder, they run people, they condition, they motivate through fear. A bad coach works on one part, the body. They never work on the mind. They never work on the heart. They never work on the spirit. We talk about this in great length in the book, The Anatomy of Winning. 2 championship coaches, 2 different styles, 1 powerful result. You know what that is? Winning. How do you build life and leadership and success into your organization? Pick up this copy at CoachBurt.com, because this is the book, baby. This is the book I wrote on how you build life, leadership, and success. How do you engineer people to win? And you can do it. So let's review what we got. Bad coaches make it all about them. Good coaches build a leadership pipeline. Bad coaches focus on today results. Good coaches focus on legacy results. Bad coaches build a team. Good coaches build a program. Bad coaches have no scalability. Good coaches see franchise scalability. Bad coaches, when they leave, the program drops off. Good coaches, when they leave, the program gets better. This is pretty simple. Don't you want to be a good coach? Why did you get into leadership? If you start with why, you got into leadership to build other leaders. Not everybody's going to be humble. Not everybody's going to be coachable. Not everybody's going to be ready to go. You have to make it. Now, they used to say, I hear this all the time, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink. Nothing anywhere says that you can't make him thirsty. Create a program so attractive that great people want to come work for you. Create a program so attractive that great people want to learn, and you're looking for a certain caliber of person. There's a little sliver of people out there that want greatness. Is that what you want? Good coaches build legacies and build leaders. Bad coaches build teams that when they leave, the program goes down the hill. Which coach are you going to be this week? Every week, if you'll come to me, Good Coach, Bad Coach, listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes, Podcast Republic, or watch our show every Sunday night at 6 p.m., and I'm going to give you just a little bit of nugget of Good Coach, Bad Coach. Pick up a copy of Changing Lives Through Coaching, The Inspirational Leader, or The Anatomy of Winning, How to Engineer People to Win with me and my good friend Rick Insel, and see how coaches become good coaches versus bad coaches. Everybody needs a coach in life. Thank you for listening.